welcome to Prime Reason Podcast, PRP, aka PRP. And my name is Suki. I'll be your host this evening, and the next evening, and the next evening, and forever. But yes, welcome to Prime Reason. This is a podcast where we give and express reasons and purpose for life, for experience, and for growth. And yeah, I'm super excited. We're on session 1, and this has been long anticipated. Shout out to everyone who pulled up and saw the promo that I've been trying to do. And Happy New Year's, because I know 99% of y'all didn't hear New Year's from me or Merry Christmas or any of that. And I feel slightly guilty. But I'm learning not to feel guilty because we grown. We don't need to hear that. I don't think we need to hear that, right? I don't think so. But in the spirit of New Year's, let's talk resolution, because I don't know if it's just me, but I have been feeling this is that the word? Omniscient presence. Did I say that right? I think I said that right. The way I butchered that word. The word is indeed omnipresent. But anyways, back to the podcast. This presence and this force in me, I don't even want to say ever since the New Year, but around the same time. And I'm not really a New Year's resolution person. Never really have been a resolution person. And I know that's a big tradition for New Year's, like that new year, new me, and I'm cutting this one off and I'm not taking this. It's 2025. I was never into that. But for some reason, that's me this year. And it's like, sure, whatever. Let's do it. That's how I feel right now. And shout out to my girl Chrissy. Chrissy, I hope you're watching, because we're gonna talk about it later. But shout out to my friend Chrissy. We were speaking in the DMs, and she and I were basically speaking about the same force that I'm talking about. And she feels it too. And I'm pretty sure there's so many other people feeling it. And if you feel that, go with it. Don't even fight it, and just submit. That's where I'm at right now. I'm submitting because I had a really rough last year. I was so stressed and miserable. And that's another story for another day. But this is my redemption time. And as a light source, because I truly believe that I am, that's just not my vibe. That's not my place. That's not even the energy that I like. Um, and so here we are. I I decided that with this feeling that I came across, that I'm going to participate in the resolution thing. And I don't even really believe that New Year's is January 1st. I strongly believe in spring to be the new year, but hey, who am I? Um I just feel like I'm so in tune and in sync with nature as a woman, as a Black woman, that when the earth is regenerating itself, at least on this side of the town, you know what I'm saying? On this side, I'm in New York. So when New York does its thing and the flowers start flowering and the trees start treeing and the grass is grassing, oh, I'm doing me too. And I love to see everything flourish right before my eyes after seeing everything so dead. So I I believe that spring is the true new year. And even though I'm participating in resolutions right now, this is preparation to endure and blossom along with the rest of New York City. And so um that's what we're going to talk about today. we're going to talk about resolutions and how to achieve manifestation in a resolution, how to source in yourself, how to find source within to manifest, basically. So, yeah, we'll come right back.
Follow up with Prime Reason by following the Instagram at Prime Reason Podcast. Scan the QR code. Now back to the podcast.
Okay, welcome back. So where were we? Let me look up in my notes. So, yes. I think that there are a few key factors into becoming a person who can follow through something like a resolution and manifest through a resolution. And right, resolutions are, I would say, yearly, right? You do it every year or whenever you feel like, but they're traditionally, according to New Year's, for the new year. And so there's so many things that change in us as the years go by, and so many new things we learn, so many new lessons. And I think that's a perfect call for change and for taking accountability for all that's transpired. Um, so for me, one of the things that I I pay oop, that I pay closely attention to in making transitions as such as a resolution is my community. And that's who's in your family, who's in your friends, workplace, who are the people around you. And I believe that there's so many people out there with beautiful energy that have not found the others with a beautiful energy. We're kind of like hermit crabs and in hiding at times. And I think there isn't anything wrong with that. You know, if you want alone time and you want to be to yourself, trust me, I understand. The world is crazy. But I'm not really sure of who actually achieved ideal success in their life without a team and without community. And this is something, as a person who is looking for achievement and success, you have to be so wise about your choices of people you bring around, having discernment and being selective, because there are people who are looking to crash your party and to benefit off of you, looking for money. And if there isn't any money, they don't want to be involved. And so having supportive people, beautiful energy, synchronicity, alignment, all of those beautiful things is so important as far as getting you on your path and getting each other. It's not just about you, it's each other, getting each other on the same path. And so, yeah, community for sure. And the next thing I have here is discipline. Discipline. Okay. Now, this is something that I strengthened myself in along the years. I had to, you know, dial down on temptation, on lust for things, on fixations. I had to choose what was best for me, whether my physical self wanted it or not. And that agreement to yourself is the first step, is that you have an idea of what is best for you. This is what's going to guide your decision making and saying yes or no, or I'll pass, or that's for me. And there was a lot of things that when I was indulging in, I made all type of reasons as to why it was so good for me. For one, smoking. Okay, I have a lot of of peers and myself who justified smoking so much. Now, if you smoke, I ain't judging you. Okay, I have people in my family who are smokers, and Rastafarian culture is a thing, you know, like, but this is person to person basis. If you smoking is leaving you broke, is leaving you burnt out, um, broke, unproductive, delayed, it's not for you. I know people who are very functional under the influence of a lot of things, but you have to think about your health as well. And like I said, if you can afford to do it in any way, not just financially. So I had to make decisions for myself that disconnected me from things that I once loved deeply and enjoyed and made a daily routine out of. And now I realized I never needed it in the first place. And so this is a conversation with self that you have to correct yourself on things that you are currently doing and tell yourself, you're wrong for that. You're so wrong. You know, this is not for you and that you can do so much better than this. So, yes, discipline. I would even say this correlates with people too. This has to do with people you choose to be your friends, and just like I said with community, there's discipline in all aspects. Your health, as far as eating, working out, having a good sleep routine, knowing when to say I'm not going out. Discipline. So next we have self work, inner work. Self work is such an umbrella term, but I can just sum it up as like evaluations constantly. Okay. When you're being irrational, question where that comes from. There's a lot of tools for me that I use as self work and self help. I tend to read a lot, and a lot of the books that I get are about self development, um, philosophy type of books, philosophical books. I've been practicing to, I don't do it annually, but I try to do it every 2 years. It's a chakra analysis and chakra evaluation. I would call it like a assignment. I've gone through it, and like you can go through it in about 7 months if you want to take it slow. You could go through it in a week if you want to go through it fast. It's up to you. But that's something that I make a habit of mine. I constantly am looking to intellectually grow. Like I said, through books, I watch a lot of informal videos, podcasts, and I'm constantly speaking to myself as far as just epiphanizing. Now, if you know me from Instagram, that's all I was doing. And that's really what got me here, because I was constantly doing these rants and doing these long monologues about things. It literally was me speaking out loud, thinking out loud about things I'm observing and attuning my perspective to. And so that right there, just making myself proactive in life, where I'm being vigilant and I'm watching my surroundings and I'm making sense of it. I'm finding prime reason, so that uh is is essential for me. I have to do it. This is why I'm here. But there's also, with self-work, there's also inner child, inner child, um that needs to be addressed. And this can be addressed in so many ways. One of the traditional ways that people are opening up to more and more is therapy. Some people go to church or, indulge in faith. Some people go on retreats, some people do spas, some people find an art form and use outlets as that. And some people straight up are having conversations. I realized that the inner child is going to cry, is going to scream if you don't fix it, if you don't try to tame it, because it's sensitive, it's triggered just like a child, it's easily triggered. And so there's so many routes to take to tame this inner child that may have gone through trauma. And if you didn't go through trauma, you might have not been able to experience things. And it may not necessarily be a traumatizing experience, but just that you didn't get a chance to do certain things as a child. This, like I said, this is something that there's so many ways to get through to this. And a lot of people also confront a person if it has to do with a person why you have trauma responses often, but sometimes you just can't have the conversation. Person is not ready to take accountability. They're not ready to walk through your pain with you, and that's okay because we can't force anybody to participate in this healing with you. It's for you. And so if you have to get clarity by yourself through another outlet, so be it. But make this attempt and make this grand gesture for you, and know that this is an investment in your future, in your future relationships, your future children, your future jobs, your future self. And keep that in mind, that this is all about your future and who you want to become. So I would say after that, I got to keep my notes. A lot of talking. After that, I would say is intention. Now, intention, that's also another really big umbrella term because it's very customizable. But what I would say is that according to your niche or your interest, intention may vary. But I would say on a big scale, it's good or bad intentions. And there's many ways to perform these polarities. And so having an idea of where you want to go in life will dictate the purpose of having good or bad intentions. Some people don't even know what their intentions are, and your intentions, I think, are the epicenter of your decision making and your logic and emotional stance. So if you're not really aware of like what your intentions are and how they can relate or how they align with your behavior, this is where self work starts to trickle in, because that is so deep down when it comes to the mindset and a whole lot of other things that dictate a person's intentions. And it's personal. It's very personal. These are the things that are like in the back seat of every action. I would say that the next thing for me would be passions. To be passionate about something, find your niche. I mentioned that earlier. Niches are essential for also having direction. There's so many end goals. There's so many routes that people go on. Some people want to be farmers. Some people want to own a gas station. Some people want to open a school. Some people want to have whatever. There's so many different routes. And so with that, knowing what what niche you want to get into, you'll know one who is a resource for you. You'll know what to study intentionally. You'll know what to invest into financially, emotionally, as far as supplies for whatever your skill and hobby is. You'll know who's the right friends to have that can be assets and help you along the way, and have the correct verbiage to have conversation with you that develops and builds your mindset on this thing that you are trying to master. I didn't really I didn't really expect to find the passions that I have now, but when I did, I felt the impact, and I was way younger, but I still felt purpose. I felt awakening. I felt lighter. And I always try to emphasize to people that finding a passion, finding a hobby, finding something you love to do in your life is is life changing. It's life changing. It keeps you productive. It keeps you away from idle time. It keeps you motivated to live, because every day or every whenever you have something to work on, and you have something to call yours. And in my opinion, creators and people who either create things, give services, this is work of God. This is what do I even call this? I don't even have a word for it. But this is God's work. That's all I have to say about that. To choose to go on the front line to provide for others an experience, is that not what God does? I this is how I feel. I don't feel that I am God, but I do feel as though I am embodying divine energy, and and what is really defined as good. And it's just a fulfilling feeling. That's all I'm saying. It's just fulfilling. And the last thing, speaking of God so much, I would say is being in alignment with morality, values, a God, a faith, a higher power, the universe, whatever you want to call it. This is what you call to trust in something outside of yourself. This is the partnership, spiritual partnership, divine partnership, whatever you want to call it. And that is also super personal. I I would not I would not be where I am without that that core part of me. But I do feel that with having higher power and God in your life, it's a partnership. It's almost like a relay race, the baton gets passed back and forth between you and higher power, where it's like, okay, I'm 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 giving you this information. Let me see what you're going to do with this as my spiritual soldier. And then you retreat back for more answers and more responsibility and more blessings, and it's just this back and forth experience for the rest of your life. And yeah, I wouldn't be where I am now without my relationship with God. I like I said, I don't believe everybody associates with this source by the same name, but whatever that is going to assist you. That's a part of your community. And you'll find others who, whether they verbatim call their source the same name, they have intent, they have drive, they have morality and values that align with that source as yours do. And so I really wanted this to be the first episode just to make it known that if you do have this feeling of wanting to start fresh, it's a beautiful thing, and make it work for you. Go at your own pace and take advantage of this, because a lot of people don't even get the opportunity to feel refreshed and feel brand new and feel like they can do something in their lives. And so if you have that, channel that as much as you can and turn that into power, turn that into energy and your fuel, and work on things every day. Help others work on things every day. This is like fuel that you can share with others. And so I'm going to do the same. And I'm going to continuously work at my resolutions and enhance my gifts and share them with you. Like I said, the podcast is a big example of this resolution that we're speaking of. I decided to dedicate my time and part of my life to this, not just for myself, but for others. There's oftentimes an audience with the podcast. So this can help others. If you receive messages and wisdom, it doesn't hurt to share. And so that's where I'm at in my life. This was very nerve wracking. Y'all don't understand the pressure. It's just the first one. That's why. But I know myself. I've made YouTube videos, but this is different. So we'll get it together. But that is it for tonight. I need to get out of here. But once again, thank you for watching Prime Reason. And I'm going to be here every Friday at 7 p.m. And yeah, I will see you next time.
Prime Reason airs on YouTube every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks for watching. See you next time.